Before we start doing our morning routine, we need to define it. And that's what today's video is all about. Welcome to day 3 of the 5-day morning challenge. Over the last couple of days, day 1 and day 2 in particular, we spent a lot of time discovering and exploring what is it that we want and what we need in this particular season of our life. And so now that you took some time, and if you haven't, make sure you go back and do that first. But now that you've taken some time to discover what that could look like for you, we have to start defining what it is that we want out of our morning routines. Well, not defining what we want, but defining the activities, right? Defining the types of practices, defining what it's actually going to look like, not the structure, not the timing, any of that we're going to talk about in day 4. But on this day, day 3, it's about what is it that we actually are looking to incorporate. So we start with our very first question. And that is, what is it that you want to do? Create a list. All right. So you are going to take out a piece of paper or have the journal that maybe you're using to embark on this journey, whatever it is, take out your phone and create that list. What is it that you want to do? The more specific you are, the better. Here's what I mean. So maybe you're thinking, okay, I do want to finally do the journaling practice, right? I want to incorporate journaling into my mornings. Okay, well, what is it that you want to journal about? Now, you could say, I just want to free write. Whatever comes to mind, I want to jot it down. Okay, cool. That's being specific. Maybe you want to start a gratitude journal, right? 1 to 3 things that you are grateful for each and every morning. Maybe you want to tackle something very specific, like a reoccurring fear that you're having about whatever stage in your transitioning that you might be in, right? Whatever's coming up for you around the change that you are currently experiencing or a change that you need to make, maybe there is some resistance, maybe there is some fear. And so you might want to journal that. Whatever it is, it's just jotting it down to be very specific. And it could change. Okay. So just because you're like, I want to start a gratitude journal doesn't mean you're going to just do gratitude journaling, forevermore. It just means that that is where you're going to start. If you want to work out, what types of movements do you want to do, right? You're like, okay, I want to work out. Cool. See, what happens is we'll say we want to work out, and then the day will start, and we're like, well, what kind of workout do I want to do? And then you get, um, you start to question what it is, and then you're like, maybe I'll just start tomorrow once I do some research. Now we're gonna get rid of all that. What do you want to do? You want to take a HIIT class? You want to do some HIIT on YouTube? You want to lift some weights? Do you want to do a Pilates class? Like whatever it is, write it down so we can be just as specific as possible. You want to change the way that you eat. You want to start incorporating smoothies every morning. Cool. What kind of smoothies? Right? What kind of smoothies do you want? So the more specific we can be around some of these activities, the better. All right. So you're creating that list. Number 2 is, what are the preliminary steps that you need to take? Preliminary steps. So preliminary step number 1 is creating the list. But the next preliminary step is, okay, well, now I got to acquire, right? Do I need to acquire some things for my practice? A journal. Do I need to buy a new journal, or do I have a pile of journals from all the other times that I said that I want to journal, but maybe never wrote in them? So maybe you need to do some inventory check, right, for that journal that you're going to use for your new journaling practice. Maybe you're starting a meditation practice. Okay, so what's the preliminary step that you can take there? Do I want to have a meditation cushion? Personally, I love my meditation cushion. I meditated for a long time without one, but I'm so happy a few years ago I decided to invest in one, and I'll leave the link to the one that I use below. But I won't say like night and day and like my meditation per se, but like my posture is better. And it just feels very intentional. So like when I sit on it, I know that that's what we're doing at that moment in that time. But even around meditation outside the cushion is, okay, what types of meditation do I think I want to do? Am I kind of in an exploratory meditative phase where I'm going to listen to, transcendental meditation? I'm going to listen to or try to tap into more spiritual meditation, like doing that kind of research, right? Who do I want? If I am not going to just meditate on my own, am I going to start listening to guided meditations? Where am I going to listen to that? Am I going to find people on YouTube who do that? Am I going to go to my Spotify list? Like, some thinking. I'm going to be having some meditations and affirmations here on this channel, so you can definitely check those out when those are available. But in the meantime, it's just about doing the legwork to finding those things so that when you are ready, like once we talk tomorrow about like actual structure, there is no excuse, right, for why you can't do the thing that you said you want to do. We're just trying to get out of excuse land and into um, activating the desires and things that you crave and things that you want and making sure that there is something, right, the activities and the practices that we want in order for you to get your desired outcome. All right. So, and finally, number three is that question, right? Will any of this, you created your list, you're thinking about it, will any of this actually help me get closer to my vision? Will it? And if not, what am I missing? Now, this is not to create insecurity, right? And say, like, you're definitely missing something from this list that you've created. It's really, I think, could turn into its own little beautiful meditation, whether or not you do it right after you watch this video or the next time you have a moment. But to just sit and think about all the things that you've been considering through the last couple of days of stepping into that new discovery phase of what it is that you want for this season of your life. And for you to acknowledge, does this feel in alignment? Does this feel, am I on the right track? Right? And just kind of sit with it. You don't have to have the answer. You don't have to have all the answers because maybe it's the starting of this journey. Just the way that it is will help you get closer and be in alignment with what it is that you want. I know that that is what happened for me, right? It was all very experimental in the beginning, some of the things that I just chose to do. However, as I became more confident in what I was doing in the space that I was creating, I got to fine tune those activities and I got to switch them up accordingly as I needed to. And again, we'll talk more about that in day 4. So those are your 3 action steps that you can take to complete day 3 is what is the list of the things, that I want to do that will help me get closer to my core desires, to these goals that I have. What are the preliminary steps that I need to take to get those activities up and going? And will any of this get me closer to my vision? And if not, what am I missing? Am I missing anything? And maybe you're not, right? And so this whole process is about sitting with our questions too. And I think I might have to do a whole YouTube video about sitting with our questions. But anyway, so that is day 3. And so before you go off into the world and get things done, I want you to make sure that after you do some of these, after you jot some of this stuff down, that you also give yourself a moment to breathe. You also give yourself a nice deep breath and some space to be, to breathe, and to become, right? It doesn't have to be long. Even in these moments that we're still developing what we want our full morning routines and rituals to look like, you can still give yourself 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. Going back to my TEDx talk, right? The power of one morning question. What do I need today? Right? And just doing that one thing that caters to the thing that you ultimately need in that moment, which keeps you present and keeps you nourishing yourself in real time. So not even predicated on the development of, your maybe most consistent container of space that you're giving to yourself, but something that you can just do for yourself in real time in this moment so that you feel that you did the thing that you wanted and needed to do for you. All right. Okay. I'm going to leave you with that and leave you there. And I will see you in day 4.